Got to go, short and sweet. I'm going to tell you about one of the most biggest threats to gardeners across the eastern United States, and it's right now at our doorstep in North Dakota. It's called the Japanese beetle, and my job tonight is to introduce you to that pest and let you know how you can take action to keep this pest out of our state. Japanese beetle, again, a major pest in the eastern USA. It loves flowers. It will destroy your roses, geraniums, many other flowering plants. It will enter your vegetable garden. You see here this Japanese beetle destroying the silks on an ear of corn. Japanese beetle will skeletonize your trees and shrubs. And you can see here is a linden tree, one of its favorite foods. It's very sad because of what the damage from Japanese beetle. This is right on our doorstep here in North Dakota. Japanese beetle will like turf. The Japanese beetle is a grub during the spring and fall. So it's underground and it will gnaw, here's the grub here, it will gnaw on the roots of our turf, causing our turf to wilt and die. Japanese beetle grubs are also a delicious treat for skunks and birds, so that can bring these friends to our landscape and rip up our turf. So there's a lot of problems with Japanese beetle. One thing about the beetle is it threatens over 300 species of plants. So no matter what you grow, like Joe just talked about emerald ash borer, so that affects ash trees. That's it. This one affects over 300 different types of plants, so we're all in this battle together. It will go after roses, lindens. Here's some of the favorites here in North Dakota. Grapes, apples, crab apples. It will go after our state fruit, the choke cherry. It will go after our state tree, the American elm, and it'll attack our turf grass. Japanese beetle, once you see it, you'll be enchanted by its beauty. It's about the size, we're all gardeners here, so I'm trying to think about what the size looks like. It looks like a pumpkin seed to me. It's about a ½ inch long. And it's got beautiful metallic green head and thorax and copper colored wings. Oh, it's beautiful. And the way we distinguish it is you look at the white tufts. There's 5 series of white tufts along each side of its abdomen, and at the base there's some more white tufts too. If you see this, please contact the North Dakota Department of Agriculture immediately. Right now, the Japanese beetle is underground. It is trying to survive winter, and this was a hard winter for Japanese beetle because we didn't have much snow insulation. So that is good for us and bad for the beetle. The beetle is our enemy, and I always think the best way to fight the enemy is to know the enemy. So let's get to know the beetle here. Here it is right there. You see on the far left of your screen right now. It is underground, trying to survive the winter. It will creep up, starting when the temperatures warm up in May, and then it will become a pupa. It'll put itself in like a cream or green color cell, and then come July, it will emerge as an adult. So when you think about 4th of July, think about the Japanese beetles coming out. The Japanese beetle has a short life. It's only going to live about 6 weeks in North Dakota. It is a busy pest. It will skeletonize plants as an adult, and besides that, it will also be busy doing other things. Sorry, there are children in the audience. I don't want to talk much more about this. But the female gives off a powerful pheromone, and they get busy quickly. The female will lay up to 60 eggs in her short life just beneath the soil surface. And there you see, just follow the arrow. Now we're into August. The eggs hatch into grubs. And this is when they cause most damage. These little tiny grubs, they got a voracious appetite. They want to grow, and they'll damage our turf. But then winter starts setting in, and they know it's coming, so they start digging deep to prepare for winter. And they'll go about 6 inches into the soil in their pursuit of survival. The Japanese beetle, we're coming on the 100th anniversary of this pest. It came to New Jersey 99 years ago, and the purple areas is where it has colonized. So it's been slowly making its way to North Dakota. And most recently, It's right in the Twin Cities. It's got a strong foothold in the Twin Cities, and unfortunately, that's where we get a lot of our nursery plants. There was a courageous colony of Japanese beetles that started in Bismarck in 2001. They were courageous but foolish. They did not understand North Dakota winters, and that was it. It froze out. That's the end of that colony. That was 2001. That's because North Dakota, every time we curse the winter, we should just hold our breath and bless the winter, because that's the best thing of natural control we have. The beetle is in Montana, the beetle is in South Dakota, the beetle is Minnesota, but it is not in North Dakota. Why? Because of our blessed winters. However, the beetle is on it's prowling, it's coming here. In 2012, due to infested nursery stock, the North Dakota Department of Agriculture found beetles in 20 out of 41 trapping sites. And likewise, in 2013, it was found in 11 sites. Then in 2014, you see the number of sites. We're getting more serious trapping this past. We put out 156 sites of traps. But notice we only saw 41 beetles. And that's because the nurseries are getting more serious about it. All the containerized plants are being drenched with insecticide to kill the eggs. It's hard to ship a rose here in the summer now, because of the risk of Japanese beetles coming on those roses. So they don't even try it anymore. The concern we have is that half of the beetles we found last year were not at nurseries. They were like in golf courses and parks, where we suspect they may have successfully overwintered for the last winter. So we gotta be vigilant against this very destructive pest. This is where we found it. You can see the yellow slides are where the pest was trapped and detected. And you see it's in our more populated counties. The green counties are those where the traps were hung but not detected. Okay, the white counties are where there's no trapping yet, but that's going to change. We're going to get serious about trapping the Japanese beetle this year. We're going to put out over 1,900 traps, 25 per county. We're going to be targeting vineyards and nurseries, because that's where we're more likely to find them, and also in places where we've cited it in the past. This is where you can come in as a gardener. The North Dakota Department of Agriculture needs your help to trap, to monitor these 1,900 traps. So they're looking for volunteers. It couldn't be easier. You get the free trap, you hang it on your linden tree, or you hang it on your garden on a 5-6 foot post, and then you'd return it at the end of the growing season to a drop-off spot, likely a county extension office. So this is we need to identify our enemy and then eradicate it before it takes over our state. If you're interested in helping to serve as a volunteer, please contact Charles Elhard at the North Dakota Department of Agriculture. I want to thank all these people who provided photos for our presentation, and special thanks to Charles for his contributions of information. Does anybody have any questions about this evil pest?
We got a thank you from Annie in Burleigh County.
Annie, you're welcome. The pest is there. We got to stop it. The United States out east, they spend $460 million per year trying to slow the spread of this pest. It's right at our doorstep. Let's stop it in its tracks.
There's an online question here in Cass County. What time of day do the beetles feed?
Beetles are most active during the daylight hours, and they like the sun, and they'll actually go more toward the top of a plant. They will lay their eggs in the nighttime hours. You'll see them. They're bright, they're shiny, and also when one starts feeding, it's kind of like a shark frenzy gets going. Chemicals are released and other Japanese beetles come to the vicinity. Joseph.
How do you kill them? Would a larvicide work?
How do you kill a Japanese beetle? There is no problem in killing a Japanese beetle. We've got all the weapons necessary. It's a beetle. We can kill it just like we kill almost every other beetle in a garden situation. We can use for larvicides, you talk about in the turf, we can use our grub killers to kill the grubs of Japanese beetle. Likewise, for trees, we've got the same soil drenches we can use to kill the beetles. In the vegetable garden, we can use the same insecticides to kill the beetles. That's the most common way to deal with it. We've got the weapons. The whole key is we don't need the pests, because like we don't want to be spraying our flowers with insecticides, because we had to talk about bees earlier in the forums. We don't want to be messing around with insecticides if we can avoid it. And we've got that beautiful winter weather working for us. So let's try to keep the pest to a minimum in our state. We need help to trap it, find it, and destroy it.
There are two more questions here, but we're running a little over, so mind if I go just to one question?
Sure,
I think
Joe.
It's really a great question.
Good one.
I have some elms, bare root ordered from a nursery in western Minnesota. Do I need to be worried, or what do I look for?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
And why is that?
Why you don't worry about it? Okay, because all the materials that come in from our state now, there is a national program dealing with Japanese beetle. So, and on a bare root material, I don't know, we're more concerned about containerized materials, where let's say the eggs would be in the soil itself. So I think a bare root elm, that would be probably the safest, one of the safest things to bring here. There's nothing for the beetle to be on. It doesn't want to mess around with roots. The beetle wants to be in the soil this time of year. What's that other last question?
The other last question is, where do the beetles spend the night?
Where they spend the night?
It's been a hard day's night.
I thought we said this is PG-13. I don't know if we should shut this down. Sorry. Depends the time of year. You got the life cycle. They're underground. They're underground, but otherwise they hang low in the canopy, and the rest I'll leave to your imagination. Okay, I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Joe, for helping there. And